Hello, good evening. Yeah, let's wait for 1 minute. Okay, so I think so. 5 has to come.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Kana. Hello, alkane arringla test vechirlama. Ellam prepare பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
Sir, I think we already wrote a test in haloalkanes.
We finished,
Yes, sir. We got the paper corrected also, sir.
Okay, fine. We'll check it. Everybody came, na? I think one more has to come now. Okay, we'll start. Okay. I think so. Last class we stopped with common nomenclature of phenols. Am I right? So I think so. This is just a recap of that last class. So it's phenol, which will be named as phenol. Suppose it's a monohydric alcohol, we know that because only one OH group is there. If two OH groups are there, so the common name of this compound will be catechol. Catechol. So the common name is very important in phenol as well as some aldehyde ketone compounds. So because they will be directly asking question from the common name to IUPAC nomenclature. Okay. And suppose if the OH group is attached here and here, OH and third position OH group is there. What will be the name of this one? Resorcinol. Resorcinol. And if it is in para position, yeah, it will be named as quinol.
Phenol.
The common names, common nomenclature. Suppose instead of that, so I think so we stopped with this one. Suppose trihydric alcohol. These are all the monohydric. This is monohydric. This is a dihydric and trihydric alcohol. Trihydric phenols, you can say. So trihydric in the sense 3 OH group will be attached in a single benzene ring. So yes, if it is like this, OH group and here one OH and here one OH. So this is the name of the compound. It's called a pyrogalol. Pyrogalol. That's the name of the compound. And these are all the common names. Okay, so keep it in mind. These are all the common names. Let's write the IUPAC nomenclature also. Okay, and here this is called hydroxyquinol. Hydroxyquinol. So we know that the OH group will be attached in para position, then it will be called as quinol. It may be called as orthohydroxyquinol like that. Okay. Suppose if it is like this, OH group is here and one more OH is here and one more OH is here, then it will be called as fluoroglucinol. Fluoroglucinol. It's a common nomenclature of these things. These are all the very, very important one. I think so. We talked about that cresol also. Am I right? So this is the cresol. One OH group is there, and if CH3 is present, This will be named as orthocresol. If it is in meta position, metacresol. If it is in para position, paracresol. We know that. Okay. Right. So let's name with the IUPAC nomenclature. So here we know that a phenol is an accepted IUPAC nomenclature. So both common name as well as IUPAC nomenclature is phenol one. Okay, phenol. It's an accepted IUPAC nomenclature also. Suppose dihydric alcohol. So how we can name it? So here one OH is here, one more OH is here. So how will you name this? So first position, second position, or this first position or second position. Both are both should be given same priority. Okay, so 1 2 or 1 2. Okay, how we can write? Benzene 1 comma 2 diol. Benzene 1 comma 2 diol. That is the name of this compound. This is IUPAC nomenclature. Okay. In the case, suppose if I name the compound like this, OH, OH. How will you name this?
Benzene 1,3 diol.
Benzene 1 comma 3 diol. Okay, right. Suppose in that case, the compound will be like this. OH, here OH, here OH. This is a common name of this one is fluoroglucinol. And how will you name it in IUPAC nomenclature?
Benzene 1,3,5 triol.
Benzene, yes, 1 comma 3 comma 5 triol. Okay, so we can name like this. Suppose OH, CH. This is a metacresol, or otherwise you can name it IUPAC nomenclature. IUPAC nomenclature.
3-methyl phenol.
Very nice. 3-methyl phenol. So 3-methyl phenol is the IUPAC nomenclature. Suppose if it is given like this. Yeah. Simple one.
4-bromophenol.
4-bromophenol. Yeah.
4-bromo 2-ethyl phenol.
4-bromo, yeah, 2-ethyl phenol. Very nice. This is a very important compound. NO2, NO2. Here also NO2. Okay, how will you name this? First position, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. How will you name it?
So 2,4,6 tri-nit phenol. Trinitrophenol, sir.
Trinitrophenol, very nice. So the common nomenclature of this one is picric acid. Picric acid. So they may be asked you to write the IUPAC nomenclature of picric acid. Okay. So sometimes the questions will be coming like this. Yeah. How will you name this?
2-bromo 1,4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2-bromo. Okay. 2-bromo.
1,4 dihydric phenol.
benzene 1,4 diol. Okay, the same nomenclature, same thing you have to write. And suppose you can copy it now, then we'll move on to this page. You can take a copy. Have you copied?
Yes, sir.
Fine. And next one is suppose they may be given names to you and you have to write the structure. So how will you write? 2,4 dinitrophenol.
Nitro group in ortho and para position.
So first of all, I have to write phenol. Okay. Phenol they given the functional group, I have to write phenol. Okay. Then second position NO2 as well as fourth position on NO2. That's it. Okay. What about the second structure? 2-methoxyphenol. How I can write? So first of all,
Phenol group and
I have to write phenol.
ortho
Very good.
position CH3OH.
CH3, that is methyl. Methoxy means
H3OH, sir.
OCH3. Okay, this is the ether group, OCH3. Then salicylic acid. So salicylic acid is nothing but OH and COOH. Okay, we are going to learn in the preparation itself. Okay, then salicylaldehyde, the same thing. So instead of that COOH, one aldehyde group is there. CHO is there. If it is CHO, that is salicylaldehyde. If it is COOH, then it will be called as salicylic acid. Okay, so the OH group should be there. Along with that, in ortho position, we should have either carboxylic acid group or aldehyde group. If it has carboxylic acid group, then it is called as salicylic acid. These are all the common names. Salicylic acid, salicylaldehyde are common names. Okay, how I can write this name? That is a 2,4,6 tribromophenol. How I can write this? First of all, what I have to do?
Phenol group first.
Phenol and 2,4,6% bromo group, sir.
Very nice. So phenol to write, and the second position Br, fourth position Br, and sixth position Br. Actually, this ring should not be put like this. 1/3 of the portion should be occupied by ring. Okay, that is much important because that indicates the delocalization of electrons. Okay, and another nomenclatures. We can make a copy. Then I will write other things. You can take a copy. Have you copied it above structures?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. Then 2,4 dimethylphenol. How I can write?
Phenol group and 2 and 4 position.
So first of all, I have to write the phenol. Then 2, 4. Second position I have methyl group, and fourth position I have methyl group. Very nice. Then 2-methyl 3-nitrophenol. How I can write? So I should write first the phenol. I written. Okay, then
Second position. And
second position
third.
I have methyl group. Third position I should have
And
nitro group. Okay. And what about this one? 2-ethyl 4-methyl phenol. So in all the cases, if it is end up with the phenol, I should write the phenol first. Then I have to make the substituent. Yeah, how will you write? Second position, fourth position. Second position, what I have to write?
Second position. C2H5.
Yeah, second position C2H5. Fourth position CH3.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Oh, what about that next one? 2-hydroxybenzoic acid. First of all, we have to write the benzoic acid. So actually, it's a derivative of phenol. So that's what they're given like this. Actually, the main compound is acid only, carboxylic acid. I think so. We talk about this here. What is the name of
Salicylic acid, sir.
salicylic acid? Salicylic acid. So otherwise, salicylic acid. It's a common nomenclature. IUPAC nomenclature is 2-hydroxybenzoic acid. Okay, we can copy it down. Then we'll go for preparation of phenol.
Sir, so the benzoic acid is a phenol, sir.
It's a benzoic acid.
Okay, sir.
So because the functional group priority, we have to give the first preference to benzoic acid only. So then it will be acting as a substituent. OH group will be acting as a substituent. Okay. That's what it is. Compound name is also end up with benzoic acid. So once the OH group, if the OH group is substituent, then it will be called as a hydroxy. Yes. What's your doubt, please?
Sir, so but salicylic acid will come under phenol group, sir.
Salicylic acid
Will come under the phenol group.
Yeah, definitely we can remove it. We can convert that into phenol, phenol into salicylic acid into phenol also we can. Have you copied?
Done, sir.
Yeah. Shall we move?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next one is a preparation. Preparation of phenol. Preparations of phenol. Phenol can be prepared in many ways. The important ways are from haloarenes. From haloarenes, we can prepare phenol. And the next one is from benzene sulfonic acid. Sulfonic acid, I can prepare phenol. And next method is from aniline. From aniline, or otherwise from diazonium salt. Okay, and from cumin. This is very important preparation. So of phenol, it is an industrial preparation. Industrial preparation of phenol is called the cumin. Okay. So let's talk about the preparation of phenol from haloarenes. So okay, so generally, so we have to prepare haloarenes. From the haloarenes, I have to prepare phenol. Okay. So suppose you consider this is a example of a haloarene. Am I right? It's a chlorobenzene. From that chlorobenzene, I had to prepare a phenol. Whether this reaction is possible or not. Whether this reaction is possible or not. First of all, why I'm asking this question? Because we know that this carbon and the halogen, which is the sp2 hybridized carbon, it has partial double bond. Am I right? Partial double bond characteristic. Okay. Once it is having partial double bond characteristic, we need to break the bond with passing higher amount of energy. So at a normal condition, this reaction won't happen. Okay, this reaction won't happen at normal temperature. That's what we have to use a higher temperature, 623 Kelvin, around 300 atmospheric pressure, as well as in presence of a strong base like sodium hydroxide. Then it will be converted into phenolide. This process is called as a Dawes process. Dawes process. We learned about in haloarine itself. So here when chlorobenzene, it's normally doesn't involve in the reaction. This kind of substitution reaction will not be taken place. We know that in general, the haloarenes will not involve in substitution reaction, particularly nucleophilic substitution reaction. Here, generally, it will be involving in electrophilic substitution reaction only, because it is an electron rich one, so that it can attract the electrophiles. But here, the nucleophiles, like instead of the Cl minus, OH minus will be substituted. So this reaction will not be taken place at a normal temperature and pressure condition. So it has to follow some high temperature, higher pressure, strong base presence only. This reaction will be taking place. Okay. So initially it's a two-step process. In the first step, if I'm reacting with NaOH, so initially it forms sodium phenoxide as a product, ONA. After that, which will be added or acidification, it will form phenol as a product along with the elimination of sodium chloride. Okay, this is a two-step process. So in what way this reaction will be taking place? So just you assume it here. Here, this is an important mechanism. So you know that here 1, 2, 3, and here chlorine is there. In all the places, we know that the molecular formula for this is C6H5Cl. In all the other places, we have a hydrogen. Okay. Here also hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. C6H5 is there along with the Cl. C6H5Cl is the molecular formula for chlorobenzene. Okay. Now it will be reacting with in presence of a strong base. What will happen? The base will pick out this hydrogen. The base will usually pick out the acidic hydrogen. Okay. So the acidic hydrogen, because the chlorine is the electron withdrawing group also. Okay. And here in presence of a base, this H plus can be shifted to here. So they can left over as a water molecule. So water molecule is there. If it leaves the electrons, so then it can give the electron to this. Okay, now what will happen? I will get a structure like this. It is 1, 2, 3, and here I got a negative charge, and here I have a Cl. Is that clear? And this negative charge will also be transferred. And because of that better leaving group, Cl is a better leaving group. We know that chlorine, bromine, iodine, these are all the better leaving group when compared to other atoms. So better leaving group will leaves off. So then I'll get some intermediate like this. So here I can get double bond, here also double bond, here also no change in double bond. Here this electron will be transferred. That's what I can get formed structure like this. And the Cl minus will left over. That's what I got positive charge. Okay, this is called a benzyne intermediate. Benzyne intermediate. Okay, this benzyne intermediate generally is highly unstable. It's a highly unstable intermediate, and in presence of NaOH, again the NaOH will be added. Once you added NaOH, then what will happen? So this electron will be transferred here. Okay, this electron will be again transferred here. So then what will happen? Then what will happen? Here I got negative charge. Just a minute. Here There is
Resonance,
no
sir.
change in this bond. There is no change in this bond. Here I got negative charge. Here I got positive charge along with one double bond also. Is that clear? So in this place only we are going to add NaOH. Once you add NaOH, what will happen? What will happen? Here I have a OH minus, I have a Na plus. The OH minus will go and attack here and they will form the structure like this. Here there is no change in bond inside of the benzene ring. Here I can get OH and here I have a negative charge and this is also unstable. Now what will happen? Here OH is there, I can write like this. Here there is no change in this bond. Here I got negative charge. Then what will happen? This H plus will leaves off and leaving behind the electron here itself. Then what I will get? I'll get a structure like this 1, 2, 3, and here this hydrogen will be eliminated as H plus. That H plus will comes and attach here. So I can get hydrogen here. And here the 2 electrons of this bond will be transferred to this oxygen. So O minus is there. In that we added only NaOH. Here we added NaOH. Only OH minus will be utilized. The remaining Na plus is unused. That Na plus will go and approach here to form bond like this. Just a minute. This Na plus will go and approach here. So then it will form like this. So here have ONA. This is my phenoxide. So from this is the first step you're crossing. So here from chlorobenzene to sodium phenoxide we are planning through this mechanism. Is that clear or not? Is that clear?
I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, please.
Why did hydrogen leave oxygen, sir, for the negative charge?
Here.
Yes, sir. Why did it leave?
Yeah, that's it. That's very important because oxygen is highly electronegative. It's always try to pull the electron from hydrogen. We know that. Oxygen is highly electronegative that can try to pull the electron always. Moreover, here the ring is also highly electronegative. Ring is also electron withdrawing. Okay, that's what. Moreover, here I have a negative charge also. So that's what it can try to cleave this hydrogen to make it aromatic, to make it more stable. So by the way, this also got negative charge. When compared to phenol, phenoxide ion is highly stable. So if it is exist as like this, when compared to phenol, phenoxide ion is more stable because it involves in many resonating structures. Okay, so that's what it tried to prefer to become a phenoxide ion. Okay, it tried to become a phenoxide ion because that is more stable than that of phenol. So I tried to form a phenoxide ion. Is that clear?
Yes, I understood now.
Okay,
So
fine.
can you explain why phenoxide ion is more stable than phenol, sir?
Because it has more resonating structures. I will explain you in the another mechanism. I will explain. Okay. So phenoxide ion is more stable. Say for example, if suppose if you taken a phenoxide ion like this, O minus, and this electron will be shifted over here, and this will be shifted here, and then what I will get? I'll get a structure like this. That is here negative charge, here double bond O, here one double bond, here one double bond, and here this electron will be shifted here, and this electron will be shifted over here. Then what will happen? So here I got negative charge, double bond, double bond, double bond. So likewise, it involves in many resonating structures. That's what it is more stable. Okay. So here this electron will be shifted over here, and this electron will be here, and double bond O, and here one double bond, here one double bond. Finally, we know that So what will happen? 1, 2, 3, and here O minus. So first structure, last structure, both are same almost, but only the thing is, it's a canonical form of phenoxide ion. Okay, it's another canonical form. Canonical form in the sense which is used to give the stability of the compounds. Okay, so it involving in resonating structures. These are all the resonating structures. 1, 2, 3, 4, all are resonating structure, but any one of the structure will be the more stable structure. Okay, that will be the experimental structure. Experimentally identified structure that has a lesser amount of energy. Have you copied this?
So you said phenoxide is more stable than phenol, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
And comparatively to benzene only, sir, if you compare benzene and phenoxide.
Benzene and phenol.
Phenoxide, sir, benzene and phenoxide.
So phenoxide has more resonating structure, na? Because even the double bonds are also rotating with oxygen also. That is the more stable.
Okay, sir.
Phenoxide is the more stable because the rotating of double bond is very important. Okay, that is the thing. Have
Okay,
you
sir.
copied?
Yes, sir.
Shall we move? And after the formation of this one, phenoxide ion, O minus, if you add acidification, if you are adding any HCl or acidification, if you do through H2SO4 like that, so you can get formed phenol as a product. Okay, a phenol will be a product. It's a simple reaction mechanism. So the overall reaction mechanism from chlorobenzene to phenoxide formation, then phenoxide, once it is acidified, it will give phenol as a product. This is the first preparation of phenol. And next one is phenol from benzene sulfonic acid. From benzene sulfonic acid. So what do you mean by benzene sulfonic acid? First of all, we have to prepare a benzene sulfonic acid from benzene. This is a benzene, and it should be reacting with fuming H2SO4, higher concentrated one. Okay, so higher concentrated, which will give some fumes, to S. That's what it is, a higher concentrated one. So that is what is fuming H2SO4. And it will try to form what is that product is benzene sulfonic acid. This is what a benzene sulfonic acid. Once the benzene sulfonic acid, if it is react with molten NaOH. What is the meaning of molten NaOH? What is the meaning of molten NaOH?
NaOH plus heat, sir.
Sorry?
NaOH plus heat.
NaOH plus heat, and then?
So we cannot react it in high temperatures.
No, we should react with the high temperature because it's a molten one. Na?
Okay, sir.
Molten one. Molten in the sense it will be melted because NaOH will be in the form of solid. Okay? It's a deliquescent solid. Okay, deliquescent solid. Deliquescent solid, because the deliquescent in the sense it will absorb the water vapor from the air. So by the way, it can convert in the form of liquids easily. Okay, that's what we can't easily weigh NaOH. We can't weight NaOH very easily in the open atmosphere. Okay, so in a closed bottle only it will be weighed. So likewise, the molten NaOH. What is the difference between molten and aqueous NaOH? So I can have a molten NaOH and aqueous NaOH. What is the difference between these two?
There will be
This
water
is
in
purely
NaOH.
water.
Okay, fine. So here just I'm taking a pellets of sodium hydroxide. Just I'm heating it. Once I heat it, it become liquid. Okay, so this is a liquid NaOH. But NaOH pellets will be there. Pellets will be there. And that pellets, if you add some amount of water, it will be dissolved in form of solution. This is NaOH solution. With water, the solvent is water, so that it can form aqueous. If the solvent is aqueous, then it will be called as, if the solvent is water, then it will be called as aqueous solution. Okay, aqueous NaOH. This is the important difference between, this is a liquid NaOH. So the liquid can be melted. That melt is called liquid NaOH. And here NaOH, which is dissolved in water, then it forms aqueous NaOH. Okay. Okay, and here what is a reaction mechanism? So it's very simple. So for all the reaction, we no need of any reaction mechanism. For the very important reactions only, I can give the mechanism. Okay. So here, if benzene sulfonic acid will be taken, so SO3H, from the benzene sulfonic acid, how we can prepare phenol, NaOH will be added. So what will be my product? So here it is a base, here it is an acid, then what will happen? So it will form salt. So SO3Na. So here it is a base, here it is an acid, sulfonic acid. So acid base with the evolution of water molecule will be there. Okay, once I got these kind of molecule, okay, and this will be reacting at high temperature, 623 Kelvin temperature. 623 Kelvin temperature in presence of 2 moles of NaOH. So I can write it twice, NaOH and NaOH. So what will be my product? So actually it will be left over like this. Na2, I can write 1 NaOH here, 1 NaOH, one more NaOH. Okay. So here Na2SO3, it left over as Na2SO3. Okay. So there will be a removal of Na2SO3 will be there. What about the remaining thing? The remaining is what? What about the remaining one? So this hydrogen OH and H, it can be left over as water molecule. Okay. So remaining thing is ONA. So what I will get here, I will get ONA. Along with that, Na2SO3 with water molecule. So once I got sodium phenoxide, then I can easily able to prepare by the acidification reaction. I can get phenol as my product.
So which reaction should you prefer, sir? This one or the above one, sir?
Sorry?
Which reaction should you prefer?
Prefer means? No, this is the first reaction is
Mechanism, sir. This
first
one.
reaction is formation of benzene sulfonic acid. So this is the overall reaction I can do. Okay, here it's a trick to write the product. Okay, it's a simple trick, just a H and OH, you can remove it. Then it forms sodium sulfonate. Okay, once I got sodium sulfonate, then it will be reacting with 2 moles of NaOH. Then it forms sodium phenoxide, sodium sulfide, as well as water. Then if you acidify it, you will get phenol as a product. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can make a copy, then we'll move on to next preparation. So you just copy about the overall reaction. The overall reaction. Have you copied overall reaction?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Have you copied this thing? You can copy it, then we'll move on to next. Yeah. Take your time.
Done, sir.
Finished? Okay.
Yes.
And the next preparation is from benzene diazonium chloride. From benzene diazonium chloride. Or from aniline also we can say. From aniline also we can. So from that aniline we can prepare first of all the benzene diazonium chloride, then we can prepare this one. Okay. So first of all the preparation is from aniline. So we have to prepare aniline. Aniline is what? NH2. If NH2 group is directly attached with benzene ring, then it is called as aniline. Now the aniline, if it is react with NaNO2 HCl, NaNO2 HCl at the normal temperature, that is 0 to 5 degrees Celsius temperature. 0 to 5 degrees Celsius temperature, or it may be given like this 273 Kelvin temperature, like this they given. Okay, it's 273 to 278. They may be given like this, or at very low temperature also. They in examination they can give low temperature also. Okay, all are same. Everything is same. So initially it get formed these kind of diazonium salt, N triple bond N here plus Cl. This is called benzene diazonium chloride. Benzene diazonium chloride. So this is a benzene ring. Azo means nitrogen group is called azo. 2 nitrogen is there, diazo. Onium in the sense it resembles the properties of ammonium. That's what it will be called as a diazonium. And the anion is chloride. That's what it is, benzene diazonium chloride. Once the benzene diazonium chloride is formed, just you can warm. Just you can warm it. So you will get just by the way of addition of water, you can get phenol as a product. Okay, this is the overall reaction. So first of all, we have to prepare benzene diazonium chloride. Then we have to move on to phenol. The overall reaction is like this. So initially from aniline, NaNO2 HCl has to react with this aniline to form these kind of benzene diazonium chloride. So initially when NaNO2 along with the HCl, then what will be my product? Just assume it, Na plus and Cl minus will left over. So then what will be the remaining product? HNO2 along with that HCl. Okay. So HNO2, it's a nitrous acid. I can write like this, OH N double bond O. This is a nitrous acid. So once the nitrous acid is there, and in that itself, acid is also be there. So one H plus will also be there. So that oxygen will have a lone pair that can donate to accept the hydrogen. Then what will be my product? So OH. The newly added H will be attached here. And here the oxygen will donate a pair of electrons. That's what it got positive charge. And here N double bond O is there. We know that oxygen is highly electronegative. Oxygen is highly electronegative, but here it has positive charge. So it can try to pull more and more electrons because it requires much more electron to become highly electronegative. That's what it can pull the electron from nitrogen. Okay, it can pull the electron from nitrogen. These electron can be pulled from nitrogen and it left over as water molecule. Then remaining N double bond O here plus. This is our NO plus. This is our electrophile. Once our electrophile nitrosonium ion is formed, this is nitrosonium ion. Once the nitrosonium ion is getting formed, that will be reacting with our aniline. Okay, is that clear or not?
Clear, sir.
So here now nitrogen has lone pair of electron. That pairs can be donated to this NO plus because it has positive charge. That's what it can try to donate electron. Nitrogen is a base. So base, we know that it's a donating a pair of electron. Okay. So because of donation of pair of electron only, it will be called as a base. Now the nitrogen, the bond will be formed between this nitrogen as well as this nitrogen. Then my structure will be like this. So here there is no change in this bond, and here N, one H is here. I can write one more H is here, and here one bond is formed between nitrogen and nitrogen. Is that clear? This nitrogen will loses electron. That's what it got positive charge. Is that clear or not? This is the first step.
It's clear, sir.
Fine, super. So then nitrogen is highly electronegative, you know that. It also will not be exist in the form of its positive charge. With its positive charge, it can't exist because it's unstable. That's what it tried to become a stable one. That's what it can pull the electron from this hydrogen. From this hydrogen, it can pull the electron. That's what one hydrogen bond is getting break and this electron will be transferred. Then what will happen? So I can get a structure like this. This is very important reaction mechanism. Even in amines also, this will be very helpful. So here N, here H, only one H is there and one H is removed. And because hydrogen will donate 2 electrons, that's why at that time it has electron pair. Here N double bond O is there. So within this, we have to acidify it. Yes, we can add, because HCl is always existing in the reaction vessel itself, because one's NaNO2 and that will be reacting with HCl only. So H plus will always be there in the reaction vessel. Okay. Now what will happen? Any idea? So this hydrogen will try to donate it because it's a hyperconjugation. Okay. So because of hyperconjugation, it will involve, and here this will shift to the electron here. Then this oxygen got negative charge. That negative charge can be absorbed this H plus. Then what will be my another intermediate? I can get like this 1, 2, 3, and here N lone pair is there, and here double bond is there because these 2 electrons will be shifted over to between these 2 nitrogen. That's what I got, double bond, and here one N is there, and here O minus, and this H plus will be absorbed. I got OH. I can get a product like this. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here also some amount of H plus will also be there, and this can be having lone pair of electron. That lone pair can be absorb this H plus ions. Then what will be my next step? So here 1, 2, 3. Here N double bond N O, here H, and newly added H is there because this H plus will be like this, okay, which will be added like this because the oxygen will donate electron here. That's what oxygen getting positive. Now again the same scenario will be there. What is that? Oxygen attains, what is that? Positive charge, but it will not be exist as a positive one. It will try to pull the electron from nitrogen. Which nitrogen? It can pull the electron from this nitrogen. So this nitrogen will got positive charge. So my next structure will be like this. So here 1, 2, 3, and here N is there, double bond N is there, and here I got positive charge. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Clear, sir.
Fine. What about others? I think so. Only one. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So here, yeah, okay, fine. And this lone pair can be donated to this because it tried to form a bond to become a more stable one. So everything is moving towards to stability only. All the chemical reaction will be moving towards to stable one. N triple bond N, because this nitrogen will lose its electron. That's what I got positive charge. So this is what the diazonium ion is getting formed. What about chlorine? Where it is comes from? Because now still we use the only HNO2. Okay, from the HNO2, the Cl will be existing as it is. So the Cl will be attached here. Okay, so this is what the benzene diazonium chloride is formed. Diazonium chloride. So this is the important reaction mechanism. In many board examination, they ask this mechanism. Okay, so diazonium chloride, the formation of diazonium chloride, from this only we can able to prepare what is that phenol. Okay, from the diazonium salt, just we can heat it or just we can warm it with water. Just you warm it with water, then what will be my product? My product will be phenol along with that nitrogen, along with that HCl. Okay, once you add a water, HOH, and this H plus and Cl minus will release of SHC, and this bond will be break out because of that stability, because the nitrogen wants to leave as a gas. That's what it can obtain electron from here, and here there will be a positive charge. In that positive charge, the OH will be attached. So I can get formed phenol, nitrogen gas, as well as HC. So here, this is the third mechanism. This is the third reaction we can able to prepare phenol from aniline and the benzene diazonium chloride. Just make a copy, then we will move on to next one. Once you copy, please inform me. Okay. Have you copied?
1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. No problem.
Done, sir.
Fine. And next preparation is very, very important preparation from cumin. So this is an industrial preparation of phenol from cumin. Cumin is what? So cumin is nothing but isopropyl benzene. Isopropyl benzene is called the cumin. It's a commercial name. So isopropyl benzene is what? Which one is isopropyl benzene? CH, CH3, here also CH. This is isopropyl benzene or cumin. This is the structure of cumin. Once the cumin is getting react with oxygen, the cumin is getting reacted in presence of oxygen. Initially, they form these kind of product. See here, CH3, CH3OOH. This is called cumin hydroperoxide. Hydroperoxide. Once the cumin hydroperoxide is getting formed, if it is react in presence of an acidic condition, so they will form phenol as a product. So they give phenol as a product. Along with that, some acetone, CH3C double bond to CH3. This kind of product. This is a overall product I can prepare from phenol like this. So this is a from cumin. Do you need a mechanism for this reaction? Do you want a mechanism for this reaction or not? If you want, I can proceed. Otherwise, I can skip.
Sir, is it important, sir?
Yeah, somewhat. Because the mechanism of cumin, the preparation, definite question. It's a definite question, but still the mechanism they're not asking. Mechanism they're not asking. So if you want, I can proceed. Otherwise, no problem. Okay, we will see in that revision classes itself. Okay, no problem there. So the cumin, from that cumin, if you add oxygen, it forms a cumin hydroperoxide. Once the cumin hydroperoxide is formed, if it is acidified, it forms phenol as well as acetone as a product. Okay. And next one is the physical properties of phenol. Physical properties. So physical property in the sense, first one is physical state. Right? Physical state. So what is the phenol? What is the physical state of this one? What will be the physical state of this one, phenol? Just you can guess it, no problem.
Solid, sir.
Solid. Right. Very nice. It's a solid, transparent, crystalline solid. Very nice. Transparent crystalline solid. Usually it is colorless when it is in pure form. When in pure form. When exposed to light, this becomes slight pinkish. Slight pinkish. Slight pinkish means, do you know rock salt? So the rock salt color will be there, rock salt. So it will be slight pink color will be there. That kind of a color will be existing. So if it is exposed to light. And the very important thing, this is a deliquescent substance. Deliquescent substance. So you know the deliquescent substance is nothing but, so here if phenol pellets is there, you consider this is a phenol pellets. So these are all the phenol pellets. You consider this is a phenol pellet. So the phenol pellet, if it is exposed to air, this is atmosphere, this is the air. So it absorbs the water molecules, or it absorbs the water vapor from air and become starting as a liquid. It started to become as a liquid. Okay. So it will not be exist as in the form of solid itself if it is exposed to air. If it is exposed to air, it will not be existing as in the form of solid. It will be tried to become a liquid. That is what is a deliquescent substance. Automatically on its own, it absorbs the water vapor from air, it becomes a liquid. That's a deliquescent. And next one is a odor. So odor. So usually it has some characteristic odor. What does mean by characteristic odor? So where it can be obtained initially, in olden days, it will be obtained from coal tar. Coal tar only the phenol is observed. Phenol is getting separated. That's what it has, some tar-like smell. It has a tarry smell. Tarry smell. That is a characteristic smell. Okay, tar-like a smell. Tar-like smell. That is a tarry smell is there. That is a odor of phenol. That is a characteristic odor, we can say. And next one is a very, very important one, boiling point. What do you mean by boiling point? Boiling point. What is boiling point?
Sir, the average temperature at which substance starts boiling.
Substance are boiling. Okay.
Converted to a gaseous state, sir.
Gaseous state. Okay. From
liquid state to gaseous
from
state.
liquid state to gaseous phase. So there will be a phase transition will be there. That particular critical temperature is called boiling point. When the liquid started to boil, now I already explained you in haloarine unit itself, I think so.
So the vapor pressure is, the pressure is equal to the vapor, the pressure of the solution is equal to that of the vapor pressure.
Yeah.
Above
The pressure of the
solution.
liquid, which is equal to the atmospheric pressure. When the pressure of the liquid, which is equal to atmospheric pressure, then the liquid started to boil. Okay. So here the boiling point of phenol will be like this, 187 degrees Celsius. 187, almost 188 degrees Celsius temperature will be there. So that is a boiling point of phenol. And here it has a higher boiling point due to hydrogen bonding. What do you mean by hydrogen bonding?
Dipole, sir.
Dipole, okay. Specifically, how we can explain hydrogen bonding? Any other idea?
Bond between the substance present in the water molecules.
Water molecules. Then more specific. Then very good. then so only water will form hydrogen bonding, or any other things are available?
Alcohols, when immersed in water, also form.
Alcohols. Okay, then what is the specific condition? That's what my question. Very good. Almost you reached.
Van der Waals force should increase.
Van der Waals force is entirely different from hydrogen bonding. Van der Waals force is a weak, very, very weak Van der Waals force of attraction. So while you saying Van der Waals forces, it is weak Van der Waals forces. But when compared to Van der Waals forces, the strong hydrogen bondings are somewhat strong. So generally the hydrogen bonding is nothing but when hydrogen is placed in between two highly electronegative atoms, particularly on off. I ask you to remember like this: on off. Oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine only form hydrogen bonding. No other element will produce hydrogen bonding. Only oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. So this highly electronegative atoms should be what? Either oxygen or nitrogen or fluorine. Okay. Say for example, if HF is there, here HF is there. Okay. So here fluorine is highly electronegative and hydrogen is highly electropositive. And here also the high positive, slight negative charge. And now this is the first molecule, this is the second molecule. Between these two molecules, the force of attraction will be existing because of hydrogen bonding. Because this hydrogen is placed in between two highly electronegative atoms, such as oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine should be there. In between any of these three atoms, one hydrogen is present, then it forms hydrogen. Okay. Say for example, here HCl, here also HCl, and here slight negative charge, slight positive charge, slight positive, slight negative. These also form force of attraction. This is the first molecule, this is the second molecule. There will be a force of attraction between them, that is intermolecular forces, we can say IMF. Intermolecular forces. Inter means between the two molecules. This is the first molecule, the second molecule. Between that, there will be a force of attraction will be there. This will be otherwise called as dipole-dipole interaction. This is dipole-dipole interaction. The same force of attraction will be existing, but between these atoms, between these two atoms, hydrogen is present. Then only it will be called as hydrogen bonding. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So hydrogen is placed in between two highly electronegative atoms such as oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. Then it forms hydrogen bonding. And moreover, we know that the boiling point is directly proportional to molar mass. Once the molar mass is high, boiling point will also be high. Okay. So here there will be two type of hydrogen bonding will be existing. In phenol, two types of hydrogen bonding is existing. Number one is intramolecular hydrogen bonding, and second one is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. What is the difference between intra and inter? What's the meaning of this one, intra and inter? Internet, intranet. Now you can say internet and intranet. Intercollegiate meet, intracollegiate meet.
So intra means between two molecules and
Okay. Inter means?
Means within the same molecule.
Okay, fine. I think so. You just ulta it. So here intra means within. Inter means between. Very good. Good try. So intra within the molecular and between the molecules, the force of attraction will be existing. That is what is intermolecular and intramolecular hydrogen bonding is there. Just we can copy it down, then we'll see the example. Let's make a copy, we'll see the examples.
So what is ONF full form, sir?
Sorry, fluorine?
ONF full form.
Which one?
ONF, sir.
Oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. So just for the understanding, I can make it as on, off. Okay. So if once you hydrogen bonding is there, the one thing it should be get into your mind, on, off. So the hydrogen which is placed in between oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. That's it. Have you copied?
1 minute, sir.
Yeah. Because don't mistake me, because I didn't expect how much time you are taking. I don't know. That's what.
Done, sir.
Okay. Everybody?
Done, sir.
Fine. So intermolecular and intramolecular. So intra, we know that within. Internet throughout the world. Intranet within the campus. This is between. Say for example, let's assume so this molecule. So here one OH is there, and here N double bond O, double bond O. That is 2-nitrophenol. 2-nitrophenol. And here OH, here N double bond O, double bond O. Okay. So this kind of force of attraction may be existing between this oxygen and hydrogen. Now this hydrogen, you can assume that this is placed in between two highly electronegative oxygen. So then it forms a hydrogen bonding. That hydrogen bonding will be taking place within the molecule itself. The entire 2-nitrophenol is a single molecule. Okay, within this molecule, the force of attraction will be existing. Then it is coming under the category of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. And now this is a intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Inter means between. So here one hydrogen, one oxygen is there, and here oxygen, hydrogen is there. Okay, it forms 2 hydrogen bonding. Now you can say which one is stronger bonding? Which one has stronger bonding? Which one will be the stronger bonding in nature? Either intermolecular or intramolecular.
Will be intermolecular, sir.
Inter, yes. This has a strong hydrogen bonding because two hydrogen bonding is existing between the two molecules. Okay, so there are two hydrogen bonding, but here one hydrogen bonding is existing. Moreover, this molecule somewhat it is stable because of that, because here it has a steric hindrance also. NO2 will make some steric hindrance in the case of 2-nitrophenol, but in the case of 4-nitrophenol, there is no steric hindrance. That is what the stability is there. Moreover, it forms intermolecular hydrogen bonding. That's what the stability of the molecule become more and more. Okay, so the 4-nitrophenol has a higher boiling point than that of 2-nitrophenol because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just you can copy it, then we'll move on. Next one.
Done, sir.
Fine. Everybody should speak. ஒருத்தர் ரெண்டு பேர் தான் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க கண்டினியூஸா. Just we should have some interaction, otherwise நமக்கு அந்த கிளாஸ்ல இன்ட்ரெஸ்டே இருக்காது. ஸோ இன்ட்ராக்ஷன் அடுத்த கிளாஸ்ல இருந்தாவது கட்டாயமா நல்லா இருக்கணும், நிறைய இன்ட்ராக்ஷன் பண்ணணும், அதான் எதிர்பார்க்குறேன். சரிங்களா, பாருங்க அடுத்த கிளாஸ்லயாவது நிறைய இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. ஸோ அதாவது டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா கேளுங்க, பயப்படாதீங்க, தயங்காதீங்க, நோ இஷ்யூஸ். ஓகேயா, தெரியலன்னா தெரிஞ்சுக்க போறோம், தெரியாத கத்துக்க போறோம், அவ்வளவுதான். தட்ஸ் இட். ஓகே ஓகே, அடுத்து பாருங்க சாலிபிலிட்டி. Solubility. So it's nothing but dissolving capacity in water. ஏன்னா solubility அப்படின்னு காமனா கொடுத்தாலே வாட்டர்ல soluble ஆகக்கூடிய கெப்பாசிட்டி தான் செக் பண்ணுவாங்க. சரியா? Then here it is a sparingly soluble. Sparingly soluble in water. In water, it is sparingly soluble because the solubility is also very less. Solubility is very less. Even it has some little bit solubility, that is also due to hydrogen bonding. Okay, because of the hydrogen bonding only, it has some slight solubility also. Due to hydrogen bonding with water, slight solubility will be there. That is also low member. Lower member has some little bit solubility. Generally, it is sparingly soluble in water. So even though slight solubility is there, this is also due to the hydrogen bonding with water. The phenol is trying to form a hydrogen bonding with water like this. Say for example, you assume that this is a phenol structure and OH is there, and it forms a hydrogen bonding with water. That is oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen. then it forms a hydrogen bonding with water because the hydrogen is placed in between this and this oxygen. Either that may be these electronegative atoms may be oxygen or nitrogen or fluorine. Okay, either oxygen, oxygen. That means in between that hydrogen is placed in between either oxygen, oxygen or oxygen, nitrogen or oxygen, fluorine. Okay, so likewise, any possibility may be there. Everything is trying to forming a hydrogen. Okay, and this phenol will be divided into two parts. One is, and this OH part will be there, and this phenyl part will be there. This phenyl part is otherwise called as hydrophobic part. What do you mean by hydrophobic? Hydrophobic part. Any idea about hydrophobic?
Does not accept water.
Very
or
nice. Very nice. This is a hydrophilic part. Hydrophilic. Hydrophilic in the sense water loving part. Water loving. But here it is water hating. Water hating part. Because it's a hydrocarbon, it does not dissolve in water. So we know that. But here OH group, it's easily soluble in water because it forms easily hydrogen bonding with water. That's what it is hydrophilic, and this is hydrophobic. If hydrophobic part is much more higher, then the solubility will become lesser one. Say for example, here you can have CH3OH, methanol, and you will assimilate a phenol. Which is more soluble in water? Actually, methanol is more soluble in water. Why? Because the chain length, the number of carbon is very less, because the hydrophobic part is very less when compared to phenol. That's what it has a higher solubility than that of phenol. Alcohols are more soluble than phenol. Very, very important concept. Very, very important point also. Say for example, CH3, CH2, 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 CH2OH. And here CH3OH. Which is more soluble in water? In alcohol part. Which is more soluble in water?
CH3OH.
Yeah, it is more soluble because the chain length is very less than chain length. Chain length is inversely proportional to solubility. If the chain length is small, solubility is more. If the chain length is big one, then solubility is less. Likewise, in phenol also, so phenol is slightly or sparingly soluble in water if you compare these two things. So here it is phenol, okay, and here it is. What is the name of this compound? You can say. So what is the name of this compound? Can anybody name this common name?
Cresol, sir.
Cresol, very nice. Orthocresol. Okay. Now, between these two, which one has higher solubility?
Phenol, sir.
Solubility, higher solubility. Phenol has higher solubility. Why? Because here it is a hydrophilic part. This is also hydrophilic part. Both the hydrophilic parts are same, but hydrophobic part. Here the smaller is the hydrophobic part. Here the bigger is the hydrophobic part. So if the chain length is more, then solubility is very less. Likewise, the chain length, the number of carbon atoms, here only 6 carbon, here 7 carbon. So number of carbon atoms increases, the solubility decreases. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Fine, fine, fine. And next one is the acidity of phenol. You just make a note, just make a copy, then we'll move on to it.
Done, sir.
Yeah, fine. Next one is the acidity of phenol. Acidity of phenol. What do you mean by acidic nature? Do you know any
More
acids?
hydronium ions.
Okay, hydronium ion has to come out, or H plus will come out.
Yes, it has to produce.
So it has a tendency to release a H plus, then it will be acidic in nature. Am I right? So here in phenol, let's assume this is a phenol. This is the phenol. OH is there. Okay. Then alcohol, CH3OH. Which is more acidic? Between these two, which is more acidic?
Alcohol,
Which
sir.
one has more tendency to release H plus easier? Then that will be more acidic. Am I right? Which has more tendency to release H plus easier?
CH3OH.
CH3OH, sure. No, actually here CH3 group is an electron releasing group. It can increase the density on oxygen. So if it oxygen has a negative charge, then it will be completely satisfied. So there is no need to pull the electron from this hydrogen. Okay. So if oxygen become hunger, then it can pull the food from this hydrogen. But here electron donating is there. Oxygen is highly electronegative. It is completely satisfied. It doesn't pull the electron from hydrogen. That's what it is less acidic. But in the case of phenol, it is a electron withdrawing group. So that can reduce the negative charge on oxygen, because the electrons of oxygen can be pulled by this group, this phenyl group. Then oxygen requires some more electron. Where it can pull? It can pull from hydrogen. And the hydrogen will give the electron to oxygen, and it leaves off very easily. But here the leaving of hydrogen is too tough. But when compared to this one, okay, when compared to this one, phenol, alcohol not releasing that much easier H plus. The H plus ions will not be leave very easily in the case of alcohol, but in the case of phenol, it will be easily comes out because of electron withdrawing nature of phenyl ring. So here it's the electron withdrawing group, but here it is a electron donating group. Is that clear? It's the electron donating group. So we know that phenol. So phenol usually it's a Bronsted acid, right? So here you just assume it here, phenol. We have a phenol here, and if it is react with the NaOH, then what will be my product? What will be my product? So here it is a base. Here it is an acid. Then I'll get salt. So what kind of salt I can get? So I can get sodium phenoxide along with that water. Okay. So if it forms a salt with water with a base, it must be acidic. It must be acidic. The OH group is directly attached to OH phenyl ring so that it is having sp2 hybridized carbon. OH is directly attaching with this carbon, then it is called sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay, so this ring can act as electron withdrawing group. This ring can act as electron withdrawing group, which can polarize the OH bond. If more polar nature, more polar, more is the acidic, more acidic. Very important concept. More polar, if OH bond is more polar, if OH bond is more polar, then more is the acidity. If the OH bond is less polar, less acidic in nature. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
ஓகே கண்ணா, இது வரைக்கும் இருக்கட்டும். ரிமைனிங் அடுத்த கிளாஸ் பார்க்கலாம். பட் அடுத்த கிளாஸ் இந்த மாதிரி மரண அமைதியால இருக்கக்கூடாது. ஓகேயா? ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு இன்ட்ராக்ட். ஸோ நானும் பார்க்குறேன் அது மாதிரியே கொண்டு போறேன் கிளாஸ்ல. பட் இது ரொம்ப ஒரு மாதிரியா அமைதியா இருக்கிற மாதிரியே இருக்கு, தெரியல. பட் புரிஞ்சுதா புரியலையானே தெரியல, அதான் கேட்குறேன். ஸோ ஏன்னா புரியல அப்படின்னா சொல்லிட்டீங்கன்னா தான் வி கேன் மேனிபுலேட் இட். அடுத்து என்ன பண்ணலான்னு பார்க்கலாம். சரியா? ஓகே, ஃபைன் கண்ணா, கேன் லீவ் இட்.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vinay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. நல்லா பேசுனாங்க, நல்லா இருக்கும்.